The Sebo Felix has many fans, but some of these also claim the Kirby was a good cleaner too, and that turned out to be a falsehood of epic magnitude, as shown in my review. So I thought it was worth looking at whether this machine is any better than the fairly awful Kirby cleaners. Short answer, it is, but it suffers from many practicality issues that sets it back relative to the best modern machines. This machine burns through 1300 watts of power when on. The air coming out gets very warm, and it's just like a winter room heater. This level of power wastage is totally unacceptable these days because we know it's possible to achieve good performance whilst consuming much less. Such machines and their excessive power consumption are now illegal to sell in the EU. Dyson showed with their light ball that the best cleaning performance on the market can be achieved with as little as 700 watts or less, about half the amount consumed by the Sebo Felix. I tested its performance in the usual way, outlined in the video in the description, by looking at the rate of dust extraction from deep pile carpets with non-porous backing, the most difficult type of flooring to clean. There's no denying it, and the data is clear. This machine is a good performer and cleans as well as the V11 in max mode. But it's important not to overlook what it takes to get this level of performance. Firstly, this shows the V11 absolutely is a mains replacement, just as Dyson claimed, and completely contradicts all those who refused to believe it and claimed it wasn't, without evidence. Egg on their faces, they were flat out wrong, yet again. Never trust misleading channels which make claims like that without evidence and try to peddle their subjectivity and broken worldviews on you. That tiny, lightweight but ultra power dense motor in the handle can match a power guzzling, massive, heavy conventional motor in the Sebo. Secondly, for the Sebo Felix to consume 2 to 3 times as much power, yet achieve the exact same result, shows just how wasteful it is. Normal mode on the V11, with all its optimizations, can clean comparably well, removing a 2/3 supermajority of the injected dust in the first pass, but consumes only 200 watts, several times less power than the Sebo. That's impressive. This disproves all the scaremongering claims that reducing motor power automatically reduces cleaning performance. These claims were made without evidence and peddled nonsense as facts, and only the best out there bothered to fact-check them. Never trust such sources. Thirdly, this data also shows that these tests, while not scientific or a substitute for formal industry standard testing, are still rigorous enough to show what's reasonable and expected, and are a damn sight better than the total nonsense you see out there by channels which don't have a clue. Finally, it also shows the importance of strong suction, which the Sebo Felix has, over silly measurements of open hose airflow on low suction machines like the Kirby, which just isn't sustained when on a pile. The Kirby was a mains powered machine with huge open hose airflow, but its weak suction struggled to maintain that airflow in the pile, meaning its performance collapsed on this carpet. This data confirms it. The Sebo totally outclasses it and shows the Kirby is total junk. And there's more to a cleaner than just performance. Other design features that affect ease of use, running costs, and environmental impact need to be considered. This machine uses bags, which is fairly unforgivable these days. They are wholly avoidable with better design, collectively add hugely to landfill, generate unnecessary plastic waste, and the user is taxed £1 every time they want to empty. And if they gather and fester any smelly dirt, you have to cope with the vile stink for longer to avoid wasting a bag, or waste even more money on air fresheners in a desperate attempt to mask the stink. Bags and bagged machines are a total scam, and you can learn more from the video linked to in the description. Changing the bags is fiddly and much less easy than the best modern cleaners, which empty without cost or mess in just 5 seconds if you do it correctly. Of course, most houses don't only have carpets. Unfortunately, the Sebo Felix's performance on hard floors is mediocre, while it's good at removing fine dust. It struggles to pick up larger particles, preferring to snowplow them. This is a basic problem that best have solved now without needing to change heads or kludging a dual roller system which makes cleaning on carpets poorer. This is an old-fashioned mains powered machine, which means you've got the wholly avoidable hassle of unwinding the cord, plugging it in, changing sockets to get more reach, winding it all back up again when you're done before putting it away. Unnecessary in this day and age. The machine has a swivel head, but doesn't work anything like the better designs. The head doesn't actually turn when you turn the handle. The body moves fully independently of the head, which is an all but useless feature. The head still moves in a straight line if you turn the handle. Fans of this machine have claimed this swivel head predates the Dyson ball idea, but this is nothing like the same thing and doesn't improve manoeuvrability much at all, which was the whole point of the ball design. You can drive Dyson vacuums with a flick of the wrist, whereas this feels completely detached and is just as unwieldy as the Kirby. It's fairly useless and is another example of nonsense peddled about this machine. It's also really bulky, making it hard to reach in tighter spaces. Stupidly, you have to bend over and fiddle with a manual dial on the head to change the height so it's suitable for your floor, and it's mostly guesswork. This is terrible design, and the best products now automatically adjust to the optimum height without any need for extra hassle and user guesswork. This thing also weighs 7 kilograms, mostly because of the old-fashioned, power-wasting, room heater-like conventional motor. That's more than twice the weight of the V11. It feels no less heavy on the arm in use, but more noticeably is the effect of its much greater inertia. It's much harder to push and pull this much mass, and it's much more tiring than we know can be achieved with the better and much lighter cordless form factor. Using a massive heavy conventional mains powered motor means this thing is very noisy. There's no significant engineering apparent to even try to suppress the horrid noise, which is simply not acceptable today, and is another reason to avoid this junk tech. Edge cleaning is fairly bad. The motor that drives the brush bar takes up a lot of edge cleaning width, meaning no cleaning in this area. This is poor design, and you can see the consequences here. The better products solved this problem years ago. Finally, stairs cleaning is a complete nightmare. With the best products, you just click on a lightweight motorized stir tool and get on with the job without any effort or restrictions. With this, you've got to detach the head, pull out the hose, attach a non-motorized stir tool, and use the machine two-handed. Holding the huge main unit of a Sebo like this to clean the stairs is really heavy, and far heavier than any cordless, including the heavy knockoff copycat clones. It's genuinely tiring and cumbersome. And then you've got to reverse the whole process and reconfigure it all back together. Time-consuming hassle that makes stairs cleaning a total chore. Overall, it might clean carpets well, but it has to burn through power to do so, and the better design of modern Dyson cordless cleaners can do a one-pass job just as well, using a fraction of the resources. It's also much noisier, has higher running costs with bags and other ancillaries adding up over time, and is more difficult and awkward to use. And it only does half a job on hard floors. This crude technology belongs in the past, or with dusty collectors, and definitely has no place in a modern world. Avoid if you have any self-respect, and make sure you disown anyone who advocates these things, because they're misleading you. I hope this helped you learn something, and thanks for watching.